Okay, so I just had to take a long break that took about 30 minutes. I had um, rain drop into my room right in my very presence. Like I thought I had it taken care of, but apparently not. So I had to take care of that, and then I had to take care of some other things. So I'm back, and I'm trying to remember where I stopped. But I think I was talking about when you hit rock bottom, like everyone you thought was your support system, which was what happened with Princess Mirnavati. Um, I would like to call her Crown Princess, because or Queen, because she embodied that a lot. Like, she her character, the character of Mirnavati, just embodies how a person is a natural at something, and it makes people hate you for it. You know, like people feared her, respected her more because she embodied she had those leadership qualities. There was this episode where she had hired some soldiers, mercenaries from Africa to fight for her. Like the way she did it, the strategy was something else. Like the way she did it, you need to watch it. Her brother didn't even think of all of that. He just let his sister do these things, you know. And I thought that was not a problem until I realized that this guy was using the time he was supposed to use to think about the welfare of the empire to be having a secret affair. Like, I know his wife was is a cold woman. I mean, how do you even have a romantic relationship with somebody that always doesn't have anything good to say about your beloved sister, you know? So I understand his wife was not making it easy for him. She sort of doesn't respect him, and I heard that I'm seeing another thing again. And I heard that what did I hear now? This is interesting. I saw some, notification popped up on my phone, and I'm trying to regain my train of thought. Seeing him being unfaithful, like he took the initiative to do that. He could have worked on his relationship, you know, or he could have, if he thinks that his wife is a problem, he could have divorced her or something. I don't know how they do marriages over there, but I just thought. And then he wanted to go into a relationship. He went to a brothel, So for me, I think that it wasn't about what his wife was or wasn't. I think it was a power dynamic for him. He's more powerful in a brothel than he is with a princess, which was more or less what his wife was, like a princess, although they didn't mention that, but I think she was like a lady from a prestigious dynasty, as it were. So I think he felt that if he was with somebody of a lower class, that one would look up to him and all that. So, I just thought that as a king, he didn't want to own up to anything. So it was convenient for him, for his sister to be the mother of the nation, and just have this beautiful woman, beautiful but cold, or shall we say, not cold, very wappish. Like the first appearance of both of them, they nearly got into an argument. What was she discussing? They were not talking about each other. They were not talking about their son. They're not talking about their relationship. She was talking about his sister. And the way she said it just pissed me off. Like, I just knew she was going to be like an antagonist. And that really didn't do wonders for her. She found out the hard way that the person she thought was standing in her way of unlimited absolute power was not her sister-in-law, but the construct of the kingdom and her husband. Because what just happened was that the moment the sister left or was removed, someone else replaced him, someone worse. And it's ironic, isn't it? Sometimes when you think somebody is a problem, you have to be careful because you might find yourself in a worse situation. So she thought that, the reason why her husband is always going to war, she wanted to blame that, like, it's because he's always going to war, that's why he doesn't have time. Okay, she was removed. She doesn't have a say. She doesn't, like, her brother practically blocked her from everything that has to do with the kingdom. So whatever information she had, even if she has it, her brother was not listening to her again. She would say one thing and her brother would do something else. Like, he just became her king. And she lost her brother in a way. Like, so he would just, she would say this is what I want, and she'd be like, he would just ignore her and not try to explain why he's disagreeing. So they sort of lost the relationship there, which I think they never really had. Like, he decided that he wanted to be independent of his sister in a power, how will I call it, in a power changing hands thing. So it wasn't an issue of they let's just say they never really had a good relationship like that. He understood his sister to an extent. I thought he didn't understand his sister. But later in the story, when he was, reading the, letting his wife know that, look, everybody is at fault here, but you certainly aren't innocent. You're not the victim in here. And despite the fact that he had taken power from his sister, he spoke well of his sister. So the problem isn't that his sister has a problem. The problem is that he's decided that he doesn't want her running the affairs of the kingdom anymore. And so she was just left with nothing. She didn't have a job anymore. Like, that was just crazy. A crazy state to be in. So when she was planning to leave, I like the fact that she was very honorable. So, some people, they will latch onto anything and anyone when they lose what they used to do. Maybe they just get into a marriage or just join a new company. She decided to just, like her brother said, retire. So she wanted to leave the palace and go somewhere else. But her guru sort of made her recalled a promise she had made and used that promise to keep her in the palace. And she was like, this is going to cause more problems between me and my brother with this one. But she still had to leave the palace anyway, because then there was a looming wall from the outside, So she wanted to leave. She could have, she knew at some point that she loved him at that time when she was leaving. She could have just said yes to him, but she just like, I didn't say yes to him when I had power. Why say yes to him now? Like, that would be a wrong reason. But when she realized that his life was in danger and he needed her, I think that was just what it was for her. She needed to be needed. So she stepped up to the plate, and decided that she was going to protect him. And knowing the details, like the details about him, made her understand the depth of the love he had for her. And it made her feel ashamed of the torture, because she tortured him. Like physical torture. I couldn't watch it. No, I could not watch it. She tortured him, and people obviously did not like what she did. So, but he understood that it was an emotional thing for her. But then again, I think that's why they depicted him as a mystery, because you cannot be a normal human being and be treated the way that woman treated him, tortured the way that woman tortured him, and still love her. Like, he was so powerful that he allowed himself. That's why I said he played Jesus. Because Jesus could have come down from the cross at any time. You couldn't have taken Jesus against his will, but he allowed himself to be taken. That was the same way with this guy. He allowed himself to be taken captive. He allowed himself to be tortured, just to show how much he loved her, or to help her heal. I think that was what he felt would help her heal from her pain. Like, it's like, instead of her hurting herself, he would rather he hurts her. That he would rather she hurts him than she hurts herself. You know how people cut themselves, when they are dealing with intense emotional, psychological trauma and pain, and they cut themselves, or they go and commit suicide, or they cut themselves. So they carry blade around, they scratch themselves, cut themselves, because weirdly, the pain, physical pain, helps them to distract them from the emotional pain, agony that they are feeling. So I think he understood her perfectly well. So he felt that he would rather, because he realized that she was somebody that didn't give a damn about her life. So he felt that he would rather have her destroy him than for her to destroy herself. That's one level of love that is something else. Of course, we might say it's just fiction, but the significance is very deep, as the case may be. And she did heal in a way. She had somebody to inflict pain on instead of herself. And she now saw herself, the way she really was. And, she cried, like, he's seen her cry twice, right? Twice he's seen her cry. So he gets her. He gets her in ways that others may not understand. So that was just it for him there. And she decided that she was going to, like, protect him, because that was, like, practically who she has left. Practically. If he was going to be saved, maybe she would just not bother, like, he'll be fine. But knowing that the person that you thought was invincible was actually very vulnerable, she just had a new purpose. Protect this guy. And I like the thing he said. I mean, of course, the guy, he's informed about everything that is going on. So he probably knew what happened with her brother, the fallout, and her sack, that she has been sacked, practically. And so he let her know, in no uncertain terms, that he needed her. Like, though he's not just taking her with him to war because he wanted to use her as a shield or anything, no. But he took her with him because he knows that she will just feel useless. she'll be going through a lot, and he would be better able to protect her when she's with him. So they both had reasons to go with each other. It was to help each other, basically. Of course, he did say she was skilled and all of that. Like, the way he spoke of her, I'm like, this guy has won my heart. I can't believe I've been speaking for 45 minutes plus. But this guy has won my heart, like, oh my God. Like, he spoke so well of her. When someone sees the best in you and tells you that you are the best, there's no one like you anywhere. How do you hear that and not blush, And then he said something that was beyond her skills. He said, as long as you're with me, nothing can hurt me. Kai, when you, as a powerful man that you are, you I don't know what to say. Like, you look at a woman and tell her that, it makes her feel important. It makes her realize how important she is in his life, beyond her skills. That because I love you and you are who you are, when you are with me, I am safe. Hi. Let me not start praying in tongues right now. And she just melted. Like, if she didn't melt before, she melted again. Not to mention that he was a poet, so he was good with words. Anyway, I'll just pause for now. Maybe I'll come back later, but if I don't come to continue this, I'll just say, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. If each one can reach one, then each one can teach one. What a better world we'll live in. And that is a quote from one of my favorite persons, Chaz B. His name was Chaz B. The guard your hearts with all diligence was also like his intro to his show called Sharing Life Issues. So, they that know their God, they shall be strong and they shall do exploits. God has not given you the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind.